Stop cold calling until you see this. What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here, and in today's video, I need to make an urgent message to you. You are cold calling the wrong way. Now, more specifically, I get it. Cold calling's hard. It ain't for the faint of heart. And the truth here is cold calling is one of the best ways to get a wholesaling real estate deals. But the main issue here is you're just working way more than you really need to. And more specifically, right, you're just doing the wrong things. And I truly believe in my heart, right, you got no money, pull a government list, skip trace that sucker, throw it on Google Voice or whatever dialer you have and get to work. That's awesome. We love that. But you're frankly doing it the wrong way if you're doing it how 90% of wholesalers go out here and do it. Now, the vast majority of wholesalers that get started in this business, they'll start by using a software like X Leads or maybe something else, and they'll go pull a list, skip trace it, and then call it, and then go and complain to me about how wholesaling ain't working for them. When the truth is, that is not the way you're supposed to be cold calling right now, because that is a large man's game in the wholesaling real estate game. And what I mean by this is everyone and their mom's doing that. Heck, even I'm doing that. I'm just pulling a standard high equity list on X Leads and just getting the calls done. But here's the difference between you and me. I got a team of hungry cold callers around the entire world cold calling every single hour. If the daylight is up where someone's living, I am definitely calling them. And if somebody has equity in the cities where I'm wholesaling, virtually and locally, we're marketing to them. So you're definitely in the wrong type of cold calling list if you have to go compete against people like me who are making thousands upon thousands upon thousands of calls every single day and thousands of hours a week that you possibly can't even do, right? My cold callers are calling 8 hours a day. There's not a chance that you are out cold calling a team of maybe someone who has 10 cold callers doing 80 hours a day of calling. You're just not going to be able to beat them. But the thing you can beat where the vast majority of people are not doing is super niched out data. And this is where you kind of slow down and niche down. And this is where the quote, and again, this is cheesy, but the riches are in the niches. Because most people are going after the regular high equities. But if you can go after a list where the vast majority of people aren't doing, that costs no money at all, that is, yes, it is harder to do, but you're going to be spending way less time calling and spending less time talking to people that just don't want to sell the property. Look at it like this. Think of the magical list for wholesaling real estate, right? The magical list. It's a list that has the best chance, if you have 1,000 of these skip trace leads, that someone's going to say yes. Let's say there's a 15% chance you call 1,000 of these people, you got one massive $40,000 wholesale deal. Probably like, sign me up. But the thing is, this list will take an extra hour or 2 hours of your time to get. You just can't go swipe your credit card and buy this list from the store or from a software. You actually have to physically go into the clerk of the court's office or online and get this data. Most people are like, oh, an extra 2 hours? I ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna call this list that has a 1% chance of me calling 1,000 people, which is absolutely insane to me. For an extra 2 hours of your time, you could probably 10x your efficiency cold calling. I say sign me up, right? And I have a bad part, I think, in the wholesale industry of pushing people of like this hustle culture, flexing, just grind. And I love grinding, I love working hard, but I want to work hard at the right things, right? So if I'm going to go crush it out here and do 40 hours a week of calling, if I'm gonna do 40 hours a week of cold calling, I'd rather spend those 40 hours a week of cold calling towards a probate list or a drawing for dollars list where I'm actually gonna pull awesome leads from it versus 40 hours of a high equity list that absolutely sucks. Now, I'm not telling you to avoid the high equity list, right? But I think a vast majority of people just go to X Leads and just pull a list and start calling, which isn't a bad thing. And the main issue I see from people is they're like, okay, Zach, well, this list isn't working, so what I'm going to do is go from the single line dialer to the triple line dialer of the same data that everyone's doing, which is like, you're just kind of doubling down on stupid. Now, it's not stupid if you're doing 2 or 3 deals a month, right? You got VAs, you're pushing the volume. That makes sense. We don't really have any other options here for calling. But if you're somebody who is grinding and you feel like you're really not getting anywhere and you're just pulling the same vacant property, absentee owners, stuff like that, I don't think that's the right thing to do. What I would tell you to do is niche out on your data. So get the data that most people aren't going after, right? So again, I classify this as government lists that the government provides, like code violations, probates, pre-foreclosures. Now you might be like, well, Zach, X-Leads has a pre-foreclosure list. Yes, X-Leads does have a pre-foreclosure list, but they ain't got the probates, they ain't got the code violations. And the pre-foreclosures is probably a week fresher than any other software, right? So most wholesaling softwares are gonna be at minimum, not maximum, but minimum 7 to 10 days late, right? X-Leads is actually pretty much the best on it. So it's about 7 days late. Everyone else is about 10, 14 days late. Some are 7, I guess. But even the pre-foreclosure is going to be at least 7 days late using a paid software. And this was all the paid softwares, by the way. So if you get it straight from the horse's mouth, so who files the list pendences, right? The pre-foreclosures, it's the clerk of the court, right? The county's public recording offices. Who's filing the probates right when someone's ready to sell? The county clerk of the court or the probate office. Even one of my favorites, like the evictions list. If someone's trying to evict a bad tenant, which could be a great wholesale deal for us, it's filed right there at the courthouse. And this is data you probably never thought about doing, or maybe you've heard me say it for like 50,000 times. It's like, well, are you gonna make a change now, buddy? Now here's the thing, like Zach, I hate grinding. Okay, fine. If you hate the grind of cold calling, right? Just hire 4 VAs to go on a triple line dialer. We got plenty of X-Leads, and just start attacking the list. But wait, you don't have money for a VA. Then stop complaining about the grind of wholesaling. If you got no money, you got no excuse. You're too broke to make excuses. You're too broke to tell me, I can't wholesale right now. It's too much of a grind. It's too saturated. Well, all that effort you're using complaining, use that towards calling and use that as positive energy. It's like if you're really, really mad. Use that energy to like work out or something. At least get jacked while you're angry for just standing there in a corner. But if you ain't got the money for a VA, start niching down your data. And if you have a VA, niche out your data, then get the high equity. So what I like to do is I like to get all the niche data for my counties, virtual and locally wholesaling, and I call that list first, right? So it's gonna be about 5 to 10% of my entire marketing list for the month. I'm gonna first do the gravy boat leads. I'm gonna always front end them, right? Because why not? And we're gonna call the best data first, and then we can start going inside of X-Leads or a paid software and pulling that other data. Now, again, the reason I do say X-Leads is X-Leads is the ultimate wholesaling software, right? You get 15,000 skip trace leads for 97 bucks a month. You get the CRM, dialer, texting, all that fun jazz. Check it out, xleads.com. But this business it's really not that complicated. You just got to get in front of the right sellers who want to sell right now. I believe government lists, drawing for dollars is probably the best start you possibly can get. And just focus on that. I'll be honest with you, if you're locally wholesaling, you could probably get 100 drawing for dollars leads every single week. And you could probably pull around 3,000 government lists. That's about 60 hours roughly of cold calling if you're doing 60 calls per hour on like the X-Lead single line dialer, maybe double that if you're just using Google Voice. That should leave you around 2-3 hours a day. That's really all you need. If you pull all the government data, right, and you do that at like night or something, and you cold call 2 hours a day, I truly believe 5 to 7 p.m. is the best time. That's all you really need to start doing deals. And for the people that have like done their first deal or the second deal right, then we start getting into paid systems, right? Then we get into X-Leads, we start pulling the right list, we upload it, we get skip traced, we use the triple line dialer inside of X-Leads, we start texting leads. That's the thing about cold calling, you know, someone gets a deal or two and then they want to go and do the same thing. And that's definitely what I always tell people to do. But if you can do the same thing and then add extra volume, you're just gonna go from maybe 1 deal a month to 2, then 3 deals a month, then 4, and then boom, we can make more money, right? We gotta start stacking that cash and reinvesting what we made back in the business. But if you haven't done a deal, don't go buy all these crazy systems yet. And then if you're cold calling too, what I believe you should be doing is on your off times, your non-cold calling times, right? So if you're an early bird, you get up at 5 a.m., go from like 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. and do what I call my night owl activities, because this is for people who are cold calling at like 5, 6, 7 p.m. Then they don't call after 9, from like 9 to 11 or midnight, right? If you're a night owl grinder. There's also ways for us to get wholesaling deals. And my 2 favorite night owl activities right now for 2025 are email blasting and digital bandit signs. Now, email blasting is kind of a new thing. If you go to freewholesaling.com, I share all about it. But this is my brand new course I have. It's called the Email Offer Generator, where you're gonna be able to send over 1,000 emails absolutely for free every single day. Think about that for a second. And it's not like copy paste, like manual, like you just put it in a spreadsheet. You click mail merge and 1,000 emails get sent right there. Think how powerful that is in the wholesaling industry. And I'm doing this for free. Like, there's no way for me to charge you for this information. It's all completely for free. And so you could go send emails from Gmail, which costs $0 at all night, send 30,000 in the next month. Now, the hardest part is getting phone numbers. That's why I tell everyone, just go to XLeads, you'll be good. But you can manually do a True People search. You're not gonna be able to do 30,000 though. But maybe you can find somebody who has XLeads and they can skip trace some data for you. But if you can send 30,000 emails a month and have a phone number at the end, and then you get the inbound calls, you answer those inbound calls, you're gonna get inbound leads right there. And then also during your downtime, right, you can send emails during night. People see in the morning. So you could be a night owl, 11 o'clock to midnight, send these emails out, send 1,000. I mean, emails don't really care what time you do it. You're gonna be crushing it. And then digital bandit signs, right, posting in Facebook groups and Craigslist, right? Again, I do have another course inside of freewheelsing.com, right? I have the email offer generator course, but I also have the Digital Bandit Sign Academy, one of my favorite courses out here, teaching you how to go post in Facebook groups and in Craigslist of We Buy Ugly Houses, like bandit signs, but digitally, and you're gonna get a ton of inbound leads from that. But overall, guys, I absolutely love cold calling. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm actually encouraging you to cold call, but I'm also encouraging you to cold call the right way. And this is front loading the best list possible and then doing the paid list in the back end, right? Where we just do the paid list all over and then we're like, well, I'm getting 2 leads a month versus you can probably get 15 or even 20 just doing government list. It's the same amount of time. You're gonna spend less time calling, more time pulling lists, but overall, you're gonna be happier, you're gonna have more leads, you're gonna do more deals, you're gonna make more money, and you're gonna get ultimately faster your goal of getting rich wholesaling real estate. Guys, if you're gonna start doing it, let me know in the comments. I personally answer every single comment myself. And like always, if you got any value from this video, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe. I'll see you soon. This is Zach Ginn signing out. Have a blessed one.